to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Just received word on Twitter from Jordan Rannon that the New York Giants will be bringing back Corey Coleman on a one-year deal. This is something that I had expressed in the past that I wanted, and I'm not surprised that they're bringing him back. Corey Coleman, of course, went down with an injury in the preseason last year and didn't get an opportunity to build off of his strong half season with the New York Giants the year before when he was previously released by the Cleveland Browns. Now, is this guy going to be, turn the franchise around? No, but he's definitely a very nice piece if he's healthy for the New York Giants. If you remember correctly, the Giants picked him up right when they picked up Jamon Brown. The team went 4-4 over the last 8 games, and both Brown and Coleman were widely credited with that turnaround and the improvement in play. You really saw it with Coleman in the kick return game. Time and time again, he was bringing the ball back on punt and kick returns and really giving the New York Giants a big boost in the special teams department. And if he's healthy, I think that will be the biggest contributing factor he could bring to the Giants roster in terms of the wide receiver position. I don't think that this changes our outlook on potentially drafting a wide receiver in the 4th or 5th round for the Giants, something that I actually did a video on prior to this that will be up in a little bit, because the Giants are looking for a tall threat. That is not what Coleman is. Coleman's a burner, guy that could take the top of a defense, but I still think they need that 6'3", 6'4" target, something they don't really have on this roster, at least in terms of an impact player. So I like Coleman in the special teams and a guy that could bring depth and maybe a guy that could hit a home run here and there with Daniel Jones. But a really nice get by the New York Giants. I'm glad he's back. I think it'll probably be around the $2 million range, similar to that of Cody Core. We'll have to wait and see on the contract details. But let's jump into the tweet that was posted, and then we'll get into some of the statistics by Coleman, who, like I said, was a former first-round pick of the Cleveland Browns, came into the league with very high expectations. But here's the first tweet I wanted to go over. This was posted by Rannon and later retweeted by NFL Update. Giants are re-signing Corey Coleman to a one-year deal per Jordan Rannon. He didn't play last season due to a torn ACL suffered in late July. And we remember going into the season, we had so many injuries at that wide receiver core. And then we had the suspension with Tate. It was just a horrible start to the season for the New York Giants. And hopefully, knock on wood, we don't get off to that kind of start this year. But I think we all had really high hopes for Coleman. He was coming in as the projected number 3 wide receiver. That will not be the case this year. Even if they weren't to draft a wide receiver, you have Slayton, you have Tate, and you have Shepard. I don't think he's going to be able to surpass any one of those guys, even if he's 100% healthy. But he brings a different element to this receiving core, being that he is a guy with a lot of speed when healthy. So definitely a guy that I'm really happy that they brought back. Then I wanted to pull up his numbers in terms of his receiving stats. He's been underwhelming for a guy that had really high expectations coming into the league. Like I said, was a first-round pick by the Cleveland Browns. I was surprised when the Browns released him, though, based off of only 2 years. But if you look at his numbers with the Browns, he started 10 games his rookie year. He had 33 catches for 413 yards and 3 touchdowns, which isn't horrible for a rookie. But then he, failed to really build off of that. The following year, he regressed when he played one less game, had, a little more than 100 less yards, where he had 305 yards and only 2 touchdowns. With the Giants, in 8 games, he didn't do much, right? He had 1 start. He had 5 catches, 71 yards. But where he really, showed an impact was in the kick return game. Now, whether or not the Giants are going to utilize him as a wide receiver, that remains to be seen. But at a bare minimum, he should help in special teams. And for a team that is really focusing on special teams, they continue to do so in free agency. Of course, that's what Joe Judge is known for. He's been a special teams coordinator for the Patriots. He was a special teams coordinator for Alabama. We had a really good special teams coach last year that we kept on. And this only helped it. One thing that really stood out last year, we didn't really have a great kick returner. We were really good in punt coverage, things like that, but we could definitely use a guy that could maybe break a couple plays and flip the field position from time to time, whether it's on punt and kick return. So I'm glad that Corey Coleman's here. He definitely provided a boost a year and a half ago when we brought him in from the Browns, and hopefully, if he could remain healthy, could provide that boost for the New York Giants this upcoming season in the special teams department, and maybe fill in, for depth purposes at the wide receiver position if need be. But I'm glad Coleman's back. It'll be 1 year. In terms of the details of the contract, that has not come out yet. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.